Howdy, y'all. It's Cody from the Keepers of Nerddom, and we are almost into November. And apparently, sometime in November, we are getting Invincible Season 2. And I wanted to go over it. I've had this made and ready to go, and just hadn't had a chance to sit down and really talk with you all about the most exciting things in Invincible Season 2 and one that isn't. Just the things that I'm looking forward to the most, even after some of the trailers, just the things that I'm hoping for. Guys, like this is some stuff, right? Okay, let's get into this. I'm not going to take much time on this starting section here of just what are the things that I am super excited about, right? So, cannot wait to see more story for Battle Beast. The fact that it's also Michael Dorn that voices him, Commander Worf from Star Trek, amazing. I cannot wait to just see more because he just seems so crazy tough. And honestly, the big, crazy, tough things fighting in the Invincible universe, you know it's going to get really gory, really fast, and disgusting, but also really fascinating because of that, because you're like, whoa, what just happened? Yeah, so I'm really excited to see what other storylines go on there. Yeah. Okay, obviously, this should have been even the starting thing we talk about, but I think it was just important to wait for a second because Battle Beast is one of those mysteries, right? He just shows up and apparently is way stronger than everything else in that room when he fights in Season 1 and then just leaves. But obviously we've seen Mark Grayson and Adam Eve, Invincible and Adam Eve for quite a while, and we even got a little mini just episode about Adam Eve. It was so good, right? So interesting, so tragic. Right? And man, what a fascinating thing it is to just, I can't wait to see more because it just seems like Invincible keeps growing in strength, and normally that's kind of boring. But whenever you've got things out in the universe that are so much bigger and more powerful than him, it's interesting to see him as he grows towards those things too. And Adam Eve, man, if she unlocks her full potential as we've seen now, she's like the strongest person on planet Earth, really. Crazy, and she could live forever if she actually unlocks her true potential. The only problem and limitation with her is just, I guess it's just a simple thing of like sniper, and she doesn't know that a sniper's nearby and fires at her and hits her in the head. Like that could be it. That's just that reality. Whereas Invincible could actually survive that if the round is not designed to go through Viltrumites or something. Kind of interesting. Mr. Immortal, I'm just super intrigued because I love the concept of him and superheroes that just live forever, or even supervillains. Think DC. Oh my gosh, what is his name? The caveman guy that's Vandal Savage. Yep, Vandal Savage. I just love that concept because it really makes it interesting. Like, they could be so much if they just kept going and had any wisdom and business acumen too. Like, this guy should be independently wealthy anyway, and that would just be interesting too. But he's a superhero. It's very interesting. It's like, how much does he remember about everything at times? Robot, and now his human body and all this stuff. Like, wow, what a character. I cannot wait to see more because it's super creepy and interesting all at the same time. This is technically a different person now because the old one has passed away with the Mauler twins. Unfortunately, I think I skipped them for some reason, and it really saddens me because I love the Mauler twins. They're so funny and interesting because they're just all about, we're just going to clone, and even though we know we're clones, we're going to still argue about who's the best. But we're going to get into a story thing of what now will Robot go and do, because he's always got a plan of his own that's over and above other priorities. Kind of scary, kind of interesting, kind of creepy all at the same time, and I find that fascinating. Debbie and Omni-Man. Debbie's fascinating just because she is such an interesting character, dealing with the fact that she is, was married to a superhero, and technically is, but also super murderer, right? It's kind of messed up. And Omni-Man, just first off, gotta love J. Jonah Jameson, that actor. Oh my goodness, drawing a blank on his name. You can let me know down in the comments below. But I love him, and it's like J.K. Simmons. And man, Omni-Man is such a fascinating character anyway, and the fact that he only left Earth because he just didn't want to kill his son. Wow, just it's so interesting. But J.K. Simmons just nails that role so well. and it's amazing. I can't wait to see more of him because he's such a fascinating character and a tortured character because he serves this empire, but now he's finally hit. Maybe it would be okay not to fight and take over everything. Maybe it's okay to just have a family and live life. Very interesting. And Debbie's really struggling through those emotions of, my husband lied to me this whole time and is this crazy conquering murder psycho. Very interesting. So again, right, Omni-Man, but also I think this guy's name is Thrag, I think. Don't quote me on that one, but you can let me know in the comments below if I got it wrong. Apparently he's a very strong Viltrumite, and we just move up the chain from what I understand. In some of the comic stuff, I've tried to read a little bit, but not too much to give it all away. But really, it just comes down to this, like, the power level thing that's really interesting because, you know, Omni-Man at home versus Omni-Man out fighting supervillains and or everything else, like monsters and stuff, is quite scary, but also impressively insane. Really cool, really interesting. Yeah, I can't wait to see more Viltrumites just in general. Like, that's really what I wanted to talk about right there. It's just more Viltrumites make it very interesting because what can Adam Eve even do to Viltrumite? Can she actually alter their, if she's even unlocked her true potential, can she mess with them as much as other things? That's an interesting question. Man, I cannot remember the name for these aliens, but they were such a fascinating part in season 1. I love the concept and this fact that their society was almost wiped out basically by Omni-Man. The fact is that they are much faster in their timeline than Earth, so they could come back in season 2 and be even more powerful, which is kind of scary to think about, but also really interesting. And I just love that that's a concept that they have there. Really excited to see if they come back at all. This was a great little side piece to the whole season 1 of these aliens. I know they had a name, and I can't even remember what they were. Up on Mars, where they apparently take over, and once they start taking over bodies, they get smarter and all of a sudden become more like a Starro kind of thing, a big central entity kind of deal. It's more like shared brain power than anything. It's very interesting seeing a brain on a squid like this. Very creepy, very unnerving, but fascinating all the same. Really excited to see what happens with Mars and all the stuff there because, you know, the Martian superhero was apparently not the only one. Alan the Alien, man, I am so pumped for him just because in season 1 he's more just there as a side character, but I did read a little bit of comics and just found out that he is central to story, and I think it'll be really fun to see him because he just seems like such a chill dude and, you know, just has this job and just does it because it's his job. But I think he's going to be an interesting and integral part because how strong is he? Well, we haven't necessarily seen his upper limits because they just battled for a little while and called a timeout. Can't wait to see his character. And also, he's going to introduce us, I think, to the universe at large. Really neat. All right, Monster Girl and Explosion Dude. I can't even remember his name because I don't like him. Rexplode. Yeah, Rex. Can't stand him, but yet at the same time, at the end of the first season, he was making commentary that was like the only one person that made sense in the entire show at the time. Like, seriously, you guys are all okay with this? No, this is messed up. Whenever he realizes that Robot cloned him. And Monster Girl, what an interesting power. She literally could live forever as long as she just uses her power periodically to de-age. But she also, if she uses it too much, as we see, she's right in that preteen age almost. And it's really just kind of a tragic thing of like she just couldn't exercise some self-control to give herself some time to age up. Kind of interesting to think about. Titan, wow. Again, another side character that was really fascinating. That's the thing about Invincible, this show. It did such a good job of giving us characters to care about, even though they were just introduced in sometimes a few minutes at most. Yeah, we were interested and intrigued, and Titan, they played him off as this family man with, I just want to free my family from underneath this, only to discover, actually, I want to make sure my family has all the power. And it got interesting, and he took over. Can't wait to see kind of what happens there, because I think Invincible's going to run into him again. Art, Mark Hamill voices Art, the guy who designs the costumes. I just love the character for one, and Mark Hamill's there. But also, I think costume designing type of characters, there's something interesting and simple. Like, what is he using to make Omni-Man and Invincible suits? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't remember season 1 really talking much about that, but I think it's an important detail that should be hit on. Like, what in the world are these things made out of that they can survive some of the stuff? Like, he's more than just a costumer, okay? He's working with high-level materials. Very interesting, and I just hope they just kind of address some more story with him. But also, he lost one of his, what he thought of as a best friend in Omni-Man, and now looks at him as a murderer and terrible. And I just hope someday they get to have a conversation further and maybe share that drink again and just talk about life. Oh my goodness. He's gone. I love this character so much, and his name is gone all of a sudden. No. But doggone it. It's gonna hit me later, but I really enjoy him. The guy that's in charge of all like the Black Ops stuff for the United States government. Cecil. Yeah, good. All right, remembering everything slowly but surely. Cecil is so much fun because he's so mysterious. It's like Nick Fury, but it continues to be an awesome, crazy, epic person that's tragic, but also still cares, but also is hardened. And you can see it even literally on his face. As you can see, he's messed up. Like, he has gone through some stuff. And he faced off with Omni-Man face-to-face for a while with the use of the teleporter just to keep himself away from Omni-Man's grabbing him and just choking him out and killing him, ripping him to shreds. Crazy. But really cool to see Cecil just stand his ground and try everything to stop Omni-Man. And let's be honest, coolest thing ever was that laser thing firing at Omni-Man, and he was like, $10 billion for a bloody nose, most expensive bloody nose ever, something like that. It was just so funny because it's like, yeah, it's true. All right, who else? Oh, there it is. Yeah, and she's in the trailer, and no, oh my gosh, no. She is literally the worst part of this entire show. You know, there are redeeming characters in this show. There's some I have not mentioned, some of the superheroes I haven't mentioned, and just no to Amber. No. And she's in the trailer, and so she's still in the show, and I'm like, please stop. No. She is the worst. She is the worst because she doesn't... You find out, yeah, she actually did know Mark was invincible, and she still played this whole role of, you don't care about me because you're not here. And it's like he was literally saving the planet from an explosion, right? She's just a jerk, and she's terrible. And some people may say, no, this is good character development, but it's like, yeah, this is a character that exists in the real world, and so that's true that she exists as a concept, but this is the person that you don't stay in a relationship with because this is a manipulative mess, you know. And I think with Robot and Monster Girl, that's going to be discovered too, right? Robot is manipulative and cunning and devious, and it's gonna not end well. But we've seen more of Amber and just how she has behaved, and Mark's still just like, I love you, and she's like, yeah, you do. You've got to do what I say, right? It's just really weird. Like, it just feels like she's just controlling and manipulating. And I'm sure we're going to get to that point with Robot. And it's like, we already know he's creepy and not really as heroic as he appears. But Amber is, in the show, almost like played like she is a good person, but she's not at all. And she's just terrible. She's just mean. Anyway, who are you looking forward to learning more about in Invincible Season 2? Who is it that you hope doesn't show back up, right? I've been Cody from the Keepers of Nerddom. Like, share, and subscribe, and let's let other people know about this because I'd love to have that discussion. And I'm just so excited for Invincible Season 2 because oh my gosh, the show is so good and so fascinating, and it's violent because it's like, what if superheroes existed? Yeah, they would be violent. Like, there's no two ways about it. You've got somebody with super strength enters into a room. They're going to punch one person through a wall, right? And that's just what's going to happen. There's not much else you can say. Anyway, I've been Cody from the Keepers of Nerddom. Take care, y'all. Bye.